Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to Digital Caveman Presents Live, a look at Thales and Kasos.
Right.
I hope I pronounced that right.
I think I mispronounced Thales on my video this morning.
Oh, that's okay, because I kept calling Kasos Chaos in my videos.
You did. You did.
Yeah.
So Chaos and Thales, I think I said, or something like that.
And these figures are from the let's see, from the XesRay Studios.
No, XesRay.
Oh, is it XesRay? I always thought.
I read it as XesRay. XesRay. Yeah.
Combatants fight for glory.
Yep.
So here's a quick look at the empty packaging.
I have Kasos the Crusher.
And I have Thales the Shredder.
Yeah, which is...
And he's no relation to that guy from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which guy?
The Shredder.
Oh, the Shredder, right, okay. But I mean, I wouldn't mind a fully articulated Bebop and Rocksteady kind of done like that, you know?
Yeah, you know, those are two of my favorite from like the original cartoon. Always liked that pair. They were
me and my
funny team to me.
Me and my RIL friends are playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Splintered Fate. Just came out like a couple months ago. And it's a roguelike Ninja Turtle game. And, you know, of course, you have Bebop and Rocksteady. So it's pretty fun. So how many views did you get so far on your review?
Probably not as many as you. I ain't even had a chance to look at it today. I've been running around.
Really? I check my stuff like 5 times a day.
Usually I do, and probably more than 5. So I've got 19 views currently.
Okay, I got 28.
2 comments,
which is
not too far off.
Yeah, but I mean, usually I get, you know, 100 is a good video for me, depending on
me too.
You know, which like my toy hack stuff doesn't do that well, but my video, like my Transformers review, do okay. But then my voice actor spotlight will do okay over time.
And you know, it's evergreen content that not a lot of people are doing. So
yeah,
you know, that helps, especially over time.
Well, it's good for the 4,000 hours you need to keep monetization, you know. So, or if you want to reach, I haven't reached it yet, like the
me either.
Ad revenue.
I was up to like 3,600, and now I'm down to like 2,600. So
yeah, it goes down.
It's crazy. I think we should get paid.
Marcos, how you doing, man?
M3.
Yeah.
What's up, my friend?
He is actually not on fire. I checked on him earlier.
Okay, good.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
You know, I'm
glad you're not on fire.
I wish you would stream sometimes, you know, at 8 p.m. Eastern time instead of, you know, 2 a.m. my time when I'm sleeping. I can never catch this stream live.
Hey, Raz, I wanted to ask you what it's like in the 51st state of the United States.
I don't do politics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
All right. So what we're here to talk about are these guys right here.
See, you have that balls and chains that I don't have. Yeah. But
and I like that it's, you know, a linked chain. I like that, but it's not, I mean, it just hangs there. So I'm going to try to put a wire in it, and I may even take this chain off and put a little bit longer chain on it with some wire running through it, so I can pose it up like he's swinging it around or whatever.
Yeah, it's because I don't have it, but I have the space for it in my insert here. So I thought I lost something. So, but then, you know, I looked at every picture I could find, and there wasn't any.
Yeah, I didn't.
So
because that's what I thought at first, was like they would cut the same weapons, but even the axes are different.
yeah, okay, let's compare. Mine is,
and yours is, yeah, it's more like a double-bladed or double-edged.
Double-bladed. You have the pick, and then you have steel rivet on your handle though. Like you have reinforcement on rivet. I have wood finish and leather grip. That's right. So they really put a lot of details into these things.
They did.
So that was really good. I'm really impressed. It's actually my top figure of 2024. It's not even a Transformers. Do you have spikes on your grip?
No, it's got a let me get it out of his hand here. It's got like a leather.
Nice. Oh, that looks good though. Because I mean, this is completely unpractical, right? Like you can't grip a weapon like that, so you have to grip it at the wooden handle. So
yeah,
but I mean,
they're definitely two-handed weapons, you know.
Yeah.
Even for these big old guys. But it's got, it's got a little wrap here with some paint wash on it, which all of this has some wash on it.
I thought that wash was pretty cool on there.
Yeah.
How the attention to detail they put on there was pretty cool.
It's very, these are very, very detailed.
Not usually what I get, like I get Transformers with, a bit of details, no paint. So to have this in hand, like, it's really good. And it's, better than Masterverse, better than, well, I'm not going to say Star Wars because I really don't enjoy the Black Series. But yeah, it's really good. How many hands did you get?
Oh, Lord. I don't know. I packed them up in my little accessory box. I think there were 2 extra sets of hands. One like the grabby hands, and then fists.
I have fists, and then I have one open palm. Whoops, here, and one weapon grip.
Kind of C grip, yeah.
Or the masturbation grip, So
that one's for you, M3.
And then I removed the feet. Do you display with hooves or feet?
No, I put him in my display with the human feet because it just felt like it was gonna fall over.
It does. I will never display with the human feet though. Because to me it's not a Minotaur, it's
right.
So I do have a stand that's from Fire Talks, and I'm able to peg it, but it's not real tight, but it does make a difference for the stability. So I use that.
What you might want to look into getting is some of these. I guess they call them flight stands, but like the clear ones.
I have a. I don't like the C clips though because like it's.
Well, these
you shake them a little bit and everything flies off, But I do have
it all depends on where you put the clip, and
I have some. Let's try it.
With these, you could, which I got this one set really short, but you could take 2 of these with the longer arms on them, and put them up under the arms. That might help support him a little bit with the hooves on.
Hey, tech support.
Because
sorry. This is the one that came with mine, like my Cylon Raider. And it's got a hole in the bottom, and there's like a hole here, but there's nothing where it really seems like it connects. And there's nothing in the package. It just kind of sits on there.
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I have a flight stand here that I can use. Because I got some for my Siege Tetrajets. And
yeah, because they have that port right there in the crotch area.
But even then, those are hard to really, like, you peg them in, but the moment you move your shelf a little bit, or like if you want to move the figure, then the bottom's gonna fall off or the top's gonna fall off, or it's like, come on, man. It's like you have to.
I got those screws tightened in tight.
Well, there's only one screw at the base, but
those I didn't have any. You know, I don't have much problem with the Seekers, the Tetrajet Seekers.
Well, it's not
what I had a
Go
what
ahead.
I had a problem with is I put Swoop in his dinosaur mode, and I put one clip on like the back holding it, and it supported it, and it was good. But I came in here one day and it had broke off, and so what I did was
my Dinobots are on the bottom shelf. So, but I did put Swoop on those clips, but I C-clipped it from underneath. You know,
well, what I ended up doing was putting two arms on him, and he's got like one supporting him up under the neck, and then one's clipped on the back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Those work.
You know, I'm gonna build a stand and use it because I have a Bandai stand, and for my Grandizer figure, but it's not that great. And then I have with YOLO Park, they do come with stands, but it's for flight mode because the back only goes like this. It doesn't go down more, so it's like super annoying. So anyway, I'm just gonna build that, but I just wanna let's compare like just do you have horns with spikes? No, you don't. I have like these little removable things.
Wow.
Oh, that is cool.
It's cool, but awesome, they don't sit super well. So if he tips over, then that's it. I'm done. I have to look for that because they fly off.
What you may have to do is heat them up just a little bit, and then slide them on there where it's really, really tight. Just slide them down till you can't slide them anymore, and then dip it in some cold water, and that may help it form tighter around
the horns
there. Yeah,
okay. Something I can try. And then you have the pauldron too for the shoulder.
No, I don't have the pauldron.
You have a armband.
You have the pauldron, and I have the spiky ball.
Yeah, so that's the main difference in accessory. I have this nice.
Their overlays seem to be about the same. Over the like the waist and the crotch area,
yeah,
but I
just
think
different colors. I guess. Different. Oh no, it's pretty much okay. You have
your skull is different. Yeah, see, yours is different.
Yeah.
Than mine. So.
Yeah, I like the horns on mine. I have to say,
I do like the like it's got a little bit of soft goods.
You have a little more than me, but I do have like brown fur underneath. So that's I was really impressed with the fur.
And then I have the little they had
here.
A loose, well, not loose, but an individually linked chain. Down here as well. I thought that was a nice touch, and I mean just the paint details on this overlay.
This feels like leather.
Great. Yeah, it does almost feel like leather.
Like it's. I want to say it is leather. Like it really is well done, and you can see the threads, the detail on it.
Yeah, it does have some nice. I don't know if you can see it in the.
I see it on mine. Really, it's really well done.
Yeah, it does have some nice.
How's the details on your mane in the back? Is it the same?
Yours stands out more because they put a wash on it.
Yeah.
So,
but it looks like it's
probably the same piece because
your shoulders are
exactly the same.
Oh no, wait! Because I couldn't see your second joint on the shoulder. I'm like, wait, but you have like one in the back, and then you have another one here. Okay.
It looks like it's more filled out. Yours looks kind of Caveman looks a little painted on the ends there. The hair on the back, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
In the center. Yours is more defined. They've painted yours a little bit better. Is that yellow or brown? I can't tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
of. I'm really happy my mother-in-law picked that.
Because see, it's even like the wash on the back, like down the part of the back too. That really helps.
So I get more details, and you get a balls and chain. So there you go. How's your
Yeah,
feet?
you got a lot more
like
paint.
the wrappings. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got the wrappings up here, and which these are removable.
Yeah, they are.
You can take these off.
But I really like them, like the way they're painted and everything.
This
looks really good.
And the ball and chain piece, when you pull the hands off, you can remove those as well.
Yeah.
The
hey, NY Hunter, hello. Ken, great friend. Went to TFCon Baltimore with him. We were roommates.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, he says from the just a few things to catch up on the chat. M3, he had to pop out. He'll be back. He did say he said using the wire is a great idea that you were talking about earlier for displaying those. And he said a lot of newer figures are coming out. Are nothing but detail. These companies are killing it. And,
yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Kickstarter stuff. I pre-ordered or backed on Kickstarter Animal Warriors of the Kingdom, their Chieftain Brutox, because it's a Minotaur, and I always told Kato, like, I can collect multiple lines, right? Like fully collect.
Yeah.
But I told Kato that if they ever do a Minotaur, I would buy at least that. So now they did. So I bought it. And it's coming, I don't know, before the end of this year. And I'm really looking forward to it though, because it's smaller than this, but it still looks really good, you know.
Well, you know, like I've looked at the Mythic Legions has a couple of Minotaurs in it, and they're smaller than this. They're more size of
Mythic Legion is expensive.
It just depends. Sometimes you can catch it on a really good price. Like if you can get it from their website when they actually have stock available, it's a lot cheaper than buying it at, say, Big Bad Toy Store or some other retailer.
Yeah, or AliExpress or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're not there ain't no KOs on AliExpress for Mythic Legions.
No. There's plenty of KO Transformers for G1. And then the oversized KOs.
Speaking of AliExpress, they're not sponsoring this video, but that is where these figures were purchased. I had actually, how all of this came about is I ran across this on AliExpress, and they were on sale for a really, really good price compared to what they normally go for. And I ordered one, and then I thought about it, and I was like, you know, Raz loves Minotaurs. Let me send him a message about this. And I did. And, you know, we didn't work any of this out to where I got this figure and he got that figure.
I got it on Christmas.
It was you know, purely happenstance, because I told him, I said, oh yeah, I got the dark one. He's like, oh, I got the orange one. And I'm like, oh,
exactly. Sweet. I'm like, I got Kasos. So no, it worked out really good. So but then when we realized we both had one, for people in the chat or are going to view this video, that's when we decided, okay, well, let's, you know, push our review at the same time and then do a stream. And
where do y'all usually get your action figures at?
My action figures are mostly from DJC Collectibles, which is a local website, but the warehouse is right here. Like, actually, the house of the guy who owns it is in Orleans, near Ottawa. So that's where I go and, you know, get most of my Transformers. I do get some of my G1 KOs. Like, I have maybe 6 figures of G1 that I wanted, and I got them from Ali. I got Ultra Magnus, Nemesis Prime, or Black Convoy, Optimus Prime, RKOs, Computron, and then I got a Red Bumblebee and then Bumper, and, you know, I don't even know why I got those, but
because
it was
why
just,
not?
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I have a, you know, $20. So yeah, but I really like AliExpress because there's a lot.
They have some good stuff on there for good prices. Sometimes it just depends on what you're looking at.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't buy What is it? I think it was YOLO Park. Like they had the mini YOLO Park, or maybe that was on Temu, but they were crazy expensive. But it's a good site if you want to buy. Right now, hey Antimos, that's one of my biggest follower, man.
Oh, mine too. Mine
Yeah,
too.
he's
on my
always
Instagram
he's
every
he's
day.
one of the top 3. Every time I post anything, he likes that. He's in the top fastest.
Yes,
I like that.
mine too. He's always commenting, so I
Yep.
really appreciate that.
And we had one
because it does help.
Yeah, we had one comment from NY Hunter Impressions. He said, "I really like Ollie. They have tons of anime figures and statues for great prices. I split off and collect anime now, along with Transformers, and so sucked in. I have to make more room, like a lot
That's
of creators, a lot of
always
collectors.
Yeah, they have shelves too. You buy shelves, Ken.
That's true.
But most of my shelves here were like 25. Well, actually, they were 25 Canadian. Now they're at 35 Canadian. But they're all from IKEA's. I think it's the lava mold or something. Super cheap, and they work well. It's hard to get. Like, I have one big shelf because I needed something for my combiners, and it's now my full Decepticon shelf, right? Like, this is the big shelf right there with 3 combiners on it, and it's really stable. So, but it's the room to put everything in. It's crazy sometimes how quickly you can run out of space, and it's proportionate to how irritated your wife is when you need to buy more space. You know this. So you're like, oh, I need another shelf, and they're like, what? No, you already have so many.
She's pretty good about it.
Yeah.
In fact, when we went to Joe Fest this past summer, I was not about to start with Mythic Legions or Four Horsemen. I wasn't going to start with any of that.
Right.
But my wife must have walked to that table 50 times if she walked to it once.
She did.
Really?
And so I finally broke down and I picked some up, and they're great figures. They're not necessarily the most, I won't say articulated. Their range of motion isn't necessarily up there with some of the other lines like Marvel Legends or but it's more than adequate, and it works well for the fantasy type figures that they are.
Okay.
Yeah, they're so awesome. They got me wanting to collect them.
Yeah. The only line that I tried to collect, but then I got super disappointed was the Black Series. Really? Like, the articulations are not that good, or maybe I just really suck at posing, but I mean, the feet are not able to properly stand the figure. Like, I had to get stands for them. I had to, I got 2, and I'm about to sell them. Like, I really wanted just Ahsoka Tano and a Luke Skywalker from Return of the Jedi. And it's just, they're on my shelf, and I look at them and I'm like, first, they're for the same price as a Transformer, as a Marvel Legends, as a Masterverse. They're like super small. Like, the scale.
Yeah, they are actually more they're closer to true 1/12 scale than some of the other lines that advertise 1/12 scale, like Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe, and so
yeah, it's just, I don't know. It. So anyway, I have Ahsoka, Padawan, and Luke Skywalker, which I will definitely be selling off soon. I just need to get the motivation to post it on eBay
to do it. Yeah. Which Ahsoka is it that did you get? Is it the Clone Wars one, or is it Rebels, or
it's no Clone Wars Padawan outfit. Like,
I like that
well,
one.
you know, not the one with the tube top that she had in the.
Oh no, see, they hadn't made one of that one. Her first outfit or uniform or whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So,
which I think is a good thing, because
yeah, that one was.
I don't know what kind of kid group they were trying to appeal to, but it was a
I
little
don't
exposed.
either, because it did not work.
No, but
I mean, that's
still
not
a great
something
movie.
you run around swinging a lightsaber with as a tube top.
Yeah.
That just
See, I think I'll need bigger C clip, because this clips around his leg. It doesn't.
Will it clip up under his arm, like in his armpit?
Well, yeah.
Put some deodorant on first,
like this, but
so
I mean,
you know, that might do it if you had another arm for it and just put one up under each.
Oh, you mean yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, that could work. Okay, I'll probably do that if I want to just stabilize it a little bit.
Yes,
it just looks a little weird, but because I have like a light plaque, it's like just a pad that lights up, and I thought it was gonna shoot light upwards, but it doesn't. So I was looking for the kind of flashlight effect, you know, when light comes from underneath, but it just kind of lights up the feet. So I'm like, okay, so it's not really working great, but no.
Yes. Liquid Below Zero, another one of my great followers and on Instagram and YouTube, and he's correct about that. Those hooves are annoying. They look fantastic, and they look good on the figure. And they add if you stand him straight up, I mean, God, he's like 12 inches tall.
That's where you get your
maybe not 12 inches tall, but you know, at least like 10 and a half.
Oh, he's 9-inch at least.
And so, you know, they look great, and if you can pose him out for photography with those things on, you know,
I'm kind of hoping. I'm kind of hoping that Sardo gets into that toy line, because Sardo Numbspod does freaking awesome pictures. So, I mean,
yes,
he's practically inactive these days. At least on YouTube, I see most of his stuff on Instagram. But it was weird. Him, Kato, Inutabi, and Larkin did a Rejecticon reunion just before Christmas, and like, holy crap, man, Sardo was there. that was really cool. So, but yeah, I did my top 5 with whom I call my heroes: Patriot Prime, Kato, Rodimus Primal, Fire Talks, and Inutabi. That was always a lot of fun. And I did another top 5 with the Ultra Megatronus gang. Well, actually, he wasn't there, but we did it with Ninja Bill. So yeah, I like doing the top 5. Like, that's one of my channel's, you know, tradition. I want to do a top 5. I want to, and you know, this should have been my first, you know, Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. And but it didn't because of Kasos. Kasos was so good. So
yeah, see, I split my tops up. You know, since I do, you know, like Marvel Monday and G.I. Joe and Masters on Tuesday, and you know, so I do a top 10 list for each
you
one
did.
of those.
You did. And, so tomorrow morning you have your top 10.
No, top 10 week was last week. We're
last week. Okay.
We're past, yeah. So tomorrow will be one of the one of these dudes. I forget which one it is, but it's
those are blockies. Okay, so they've announced, talking of AliExpress, I went, because I mean, you can go on Blocky's website and you can order a random one, or you can order a box of Blockies, Galaxy version, or whatever, you know, TF1 and all that stuff, which is okay. But I just need Sunstreaker and Sideswipe, because, you know, I don't want to collect the whole line of, maybe I'll get more, you know, if they do other
Characters
G1S
like.
Transformers. And but I did order from AliExpress just Sunstreaker, which was, I don't know, $10 instead of, you know, $7 you would pay if you get a random one. But it's that $3 guarantees me a Sunstreaker. So that's why I like AliExpress, because they actually give, you know, there's some store that give you the option to choose what you're getting. So, and to me, that's kind of important. I don't like surprise mystery box, chase figures and stuff like that.
I'm not the biggest fan of that. Exclusives can kind of stick them across sometimes too,
It
depending
depends.
on
Yeah.
you know who's got it and what it is and how important it is to your collection. And
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of stuff. You know, they're getting better about, you know, not offering something that's an integral part of people's collections as an exclusive most of the time. Every once in a while they'll still do that, but
Yeah, well, it's the distribution's always been a problem for Canada. Like the Walmart Retro Bumblebee and Gears. They were supposed to be mailing January 3rd, and I just contacted Walmart because it says delayed and hasn't moved in a week. So I'm like, all right, well, what's happening?
Could it be part of the strike they had for some of the Amazon?
I don't think that Walmart is actually using Canada Post.
Okay.
And
That's
that got resolved in December.
Did it?
So I know there's a backlog and everything. So, but I just, you know, I sent I went on the chat of Walmart, and you know, they looked into it and they said, well, it's not moving, so we're going to escalate it. I'm like, all right. I just don't want them to cancel it, so then I have to. And it wouldn't be the first time that they did that. Like an order wouldn't move, and then I have to go hunt for it, which I hate doing. Like I really hate. I like the
what I
feeling
hate
when you
about
find it, but I don't like having to hunt for it.
yeah, and I hate about you know, Walmart, Target, a lot of times they will cancel your
Hey, that's my
pre-orders
wife.
and not send you a single email,
No.
message, or anything.
No.
Hate that.
Oopsies.
Pretty much. But the last couple of times that I've ordered a Walmart exclusive, and you know, it hadn't been that bad. So maybe they're
Hold on, I'm just gonna say
supply
something to my wife. On est en train de parler de nos minotaures, chérie. So that's her stepmom gave me this figure, so I'm grateful.
Yes. Hello, Catherine. I don't know if you go by Kathy. Probably not.
Yeah, she goes by Catherine or Cat. I get to call her something else, but not sharing that. You know?
You don't have to share that.
Exactly.
That's private, so that's fine. But Liquid Below Zero, let me know when you drop your list, and I will definitely check that out.
Yeah,
because he does a lot of anime type stuff. You know,
I kind of wish I was more
figure arts. And
is it okay if he drops a link in the chat?
Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
that is completely fine.
I wish I was a little more.
I want to get him on the show one day.
All right, we're booking you, Liquid Below Zero.
There you go. You're booked. That's
You're booked.
Yeah. No, anime. I watched a lot of anime back in the 90s, like movies, not series. Actually, no. I watched, you know, the classic like Pat Labor, Ninja Scroll, Akira, which is to me still the greatest anime movie ever made. Ghost in the Shell, the original, you know, stuff like that. But I don't watch. I mean, a couple of my friends are still watching a lot of anime, but it's just I don't have the time. So
yeah, my kids are like super into it. Like my middle daughter, every year for her birthday, she gets her Crunchyroll subscription for a year.
Okay.
So she watches a lot of that. I pretty much, my anime, and I don't know if it's really classified as anime anymore, is I'll watch Dragon Ball, and that's about all I try to
Dragon Ball Z all the way up to Super, and I think there's a new series now after Super.
Yeah, it's like some of Majin Buu's buddies turn them into kids or something.
Oh no, that's oh god, that's GT.
Dayama.
Did y'all, kind of unrelated, but did y'all hear about the new He-Man that's coming with a new origin story?
I was okay with everything I was seeing until they cast Jared Leto as Skeletor. And then I was like, no,
because apparently he's gonna
lost interest completely. And I love Leto. He's good. If you want to see a good movie with him, go see Mr. Nobody.
Blade Runner 2049. He was great in that as well.
Yeah, so it's
I just base it off of with like fan favorite characters. He just does not do very well.
He can't land it.
And I don't know that that's all him. Like his portrayal of the Joker, that wasn't
horrible.
all him. Zack Snyder, he shares the blame for that version of the Joker.
There's a lot going around, on the set and in the script writing and in, the way it's shot. I don't think he did that bad. I don't know. I was expecting a little more. But then the Mobius movie tanked.
The guy that's playing He-Man or something, I think that they're going to change it where he falls to Earth and then he loses his sword and he's got to find a sword.
But why do you need Earth? Like there was one connection to Earth in the original series, which was the Queen. The Queen was an astronaut. She crashed on Eternia, and that's it.
Right.
You had one episode where we talk about this, and that's it. So He-Man, Adam, is a half human. Or, I mean, they're all humans, but, I mean, he's, half from that planet. And then they did the Christmas special.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Don't forget the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special.
Exactly. But that's it.
I don't like to feel good. I like to feel bad.
Exactly. So it's that's what they did. Exactly. It sounds like the old movie. Dolph Lundgren could have been a great He-Man in his time. And while he was good, he had the physique, he had the attitude. But then, you walk in on the screen, no X on his chest, just a red cape, which He-Man never had. So, and then Skeletor was Frank Langella, did a great job. To this day, it's still one of his favorite
that version of Skeletor.
Yeah, he did great.
And
but then you have like Beastman and Hordak and all those guys, which look terrible. And Evil Lyn is not the proper color. Like the toy was yellow. I always remember Evil Lyn as being yellow. So anyway,
I will say this for that 1987 Masters of the Universe movie. It is good 80s cheese at its best.
Yeah. Absolutely good.
I enjoy watching that movie. I try not to think of it as a He-Man movie when I do watch it.
Yeah,
or try to think of it as good.
Yeah.
Well, you don't think about it. When you're watching that, you're just watching it just for the enjoyment of watch. It's like watching Flash Gordon in 1980.
True.
I love that movie.
I remember being very disappointed with it. And then after that, like at the end when the Skeletor turns into like Grayskull, which is like that golden thing. I'm like, okay, it's just and then you have Tom Paris and Courtney Cox,
Yeah.
So and it's just the characters didn't feel like they didn't feel like they're characters, and that's kind of like
a lot of that had to do with it was Canon Studios. And, at the same time that they were doing that, they were also doing Superman 4.
Which was terrible.
Yes. But Masters of the Universe, movie caused some of that because they pulled some of the budget from Superman 4 and used it on Masters of the Universe. So, but there's just a lot of stuff. If gosh, what's that guy's name? Minty, the Minty comic, and he does things you didn't know about such and such a movie. There were a lot of scenes that were cut out of Superman 4 that would have made the movie a bit more cohesive. Now, there were a few that needed to be cut, but there were some in there that would have made the movie much more cohesive and made much more sense. But, you know, for whatever reason, they decided not to. So,
yeah. No, they tried. His portrayal of the Punisher was way better for Dolph Lundgren. But, yeah.
I don't know if I can agree with that one, because I'd tell you, when I watched that movie the first time, I was expecting to see, like, you know, the comic book version of the Punisher.
Well, we were all waiting for that.
The only place you ever saw the little skull symbol was on the knives he left behind.
Yeah.
But, you know, it did have Louis Gossett Jr. in it, so that was a plus.
Who was in it?
Louis Gossett Jr. He was the detective or cop or whatever it was that was hunting Frank Castle.
I don't remember that part. It's been 40 years, you know.
Oh yeah, I no doubt. I may have watched that movie twice, maybe 3 times.
I probably did only once.
But
no, with Dolph Lundgren, a movie I really liked was I Come in Peace.
And you go in pieces.
You know, with
that was a great movie.
The aliens that are bleeding white, and you know he's trying to, and they have those like spinning blade discs stuff that kill everything. Like that was a good, that was another 80s cheese. You know.
Yes, the whole premise of that movie was these aliens were coming to Earth and they were stealing people's adrenal.
Yeah, one of them was doing that. The first one that died was the cop that was after him.
And the alien guy, you know, they were using it as a drug. And the alien guy, he would say, "I come in peace." And then he, you know, drained the people of their stuff. And
I want to answer NY Hunter's impressions question. Are you excited for Daredevil with Punisher both back? I'm going to reply what I usually reply to these questions. Hashtag no money to Disney. That's my. He knows I'm joking. It's every time they start talking about Disney on the Ultra Megatronus stream, I'm like hashtag no money to Disney.
I am I'm hopeful for them. I don't know that
I hope the actor.
I don't know that I'm looking forward to it. I will say this. It will be nice to see those actors back in those roles.
But do you think they're going to be as violent as they were?
No. It's not going to be anywhere near Netflix level.
Exactly.
There ain't going to be no nudity. There ain't going to be no blood. It's going to be PG-13, not R. And I am still surprised that they let Deadpool and Wolverine get the R rating. I'm just.
It would have been a disaster if they didn't.
Yeah, people.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
And you know,
crossover. Yeah. Okay.
They give a lot of. Ryan Reynolds deserves a lot of respect for that because he really pushed that issue with Disney. Yeah. But I think they did like 6 or 7 different treatments of the film before.
He did at least 5 script until they got until finally the movie wasn't happening until Jackman called him and said, "I want to do it." Because they didn't offer it to him this time because he always said no in the past.
Right.
And
he really was ready to retire. I mean, you get to a certain age, your body can't do all that stuff. But
exactly.
That's why he finally wore the suit, so he didn't have to work out as much.
Of course, we just got confirmation that Tobey Maguire's coming back for Doomsday. He's coming back for Secret Wars, and they're going to wrap up his entire thing. I think because we're getting a in between there, we're getting Spider-Man 4 Battle World is the name of it. So that'll come, I think, between Doomsday, then it'll be Spider-Man 4 Battle War, and then it'll be
Battle World was the original world with the Beyonder. So
Well, they also reused that in 2016. I want to say it was 2016 when they did that other Secret Wars. So yeah, they did a different Secret Wars where like the multiverse came to an end, and Battle World was made up of saved parts from different universes.
Oh, in the comics, they had instead of Secret War, it was Secret Wars with an
F.
You
know, Dr. Doom was like God.
Yeah. God Emperor Doom.
Welcome, Sovereign Knight.
Oh, he had the white suit.
Another one of my great Instagram followers. And I'm sure on
welcome
YouTube
Hello,
as well.
Sovereign Knight. But yeah,
he loves the movie Cole.
Oh, guess what's getting recast as well? They're going to finally recast T'Challa, and some people are split over that, but I think it's long since due.
I don't think it's going to be recast the way that you're thinking. I think what they're going to do with it's going to be like somebody from the multiverse, or else they're going to jump the shark, and his son is going to be, now he's a grown man.
Well, so they're not saying it's his son. They're saying it's he may be coming from the multiverse. That is a possibility, but they're saying a new actor, and they hadn't said who the actor is, but and all that.
But I have zero interest in Doomsday. The moment they announced Robert Downey Jr., I'm like, all right, they're out. This is going to be stupid.
It's desperation, but they're trying to. I think they're going to go with it. He was Doom all along. I don't know how I feel about them rewriting history and putting.
It makes no sense that Tony Stark is Doom in any continuity. In
the comics, there was one where they switched.
Alternate universe where they were college roommates.
What if?
And they switched brains or something.
That's Superior Spider-Man. That's when Dr. Doom switches personality. He switched body with Peter. Peter was in the dying body of Octavius.
Otto Octavius, yeah.
And then they reversed that, because people didn't like it. So even though Superior Spider-Man was better,
but
they were like in college or something together. Doom and Victor and Tony, I think in the comic, and then there was an experiment or something went wrong, or they switched or something, and so I guess they paralleled that story.
But that would be good for the what if series, because that probably was a what if from the 80s or something.
Yeah.
I think they're really desperate. And apparently Captain America's coming back too. Chris Evans. So I'm like, all right, they're that's it. They're out of ideas.
But they're not saying exactly what Chris Evans is doing. He's coming back, but we don't know who he's coming back as. Is he coming back as Captain America?
If
he's
they're not saying
Captain
he's their next Red Skull.
I've seen both rumors going simultaneously. The Hydra and then and the other one for Captain America. So they don't really know. And we are getting Galactus. We've already seen his face in the trailer. Like you literally see him looking out the Baxter building, and his eye, like he leans down, and you see like his eye looking in the window. So it's not going to be a cloud of smoke.
With the Fantastic Four.
Well, that's going to be in Fantastic Four. I think it's going to be the end scene.
Yeah, but I mean, why did they cast John Krasinski in the movie? You know, with Scarlet Witch, not to have him be.
Well, it's the
in
same
the actual
in
Fantastic Four movie.
WandaVision to have Pietro in there. You should have just brought him over, you know, to have the actor that played him, and then he was Ralph Boner. That was just Kevin Feige just like giving us, you know, like I'll give you what you want, but not really. You know, it's like I hated it, but you know.
Before we get too deep down that rabbit hole,
yeah.
Sovereign Knight asks,
Southern
Knight. Why you
sorry,
Ed?
You put me in.
You know, he asked, "What do you think about the Superman trailer?" I find it interesting. It's intriguing. It makes me kind of want to go see the movie now.
I kind of want to.
Not that I'm saying I wouldn't watch the movie, but it just, you know, I'm not really excited over it, but I'm more interested in it now than I was.
Exactly. I'm more interested now. I'm not overly excited about it, but there is something interesting about what they did, like seeing Girl and the lanterns, and like as long as it's not an origin story. I don't want to see Krypton. I don't care.
He said we would, and with Batman, he's because in Creature Commandos.
Oh.
That has walked that back about Batman, and he said we will not be doing an origin story of Batman. Everybody knows the story, so I don't think they're going to do that with Clark or with Superman. I don't think they're going to do that because he's already established. Maybe there's a flashback here and there, but I don't think they're. I think he realizes that that's all been done before. You know, we need to move the storytelling forward. You know, not
we've already done. Let's see, we've already done his origin story in movies twice.
And
that was, you know, Superman.
There's
the movie,
a lot more than
and the Man of Steel.
You know,
and you know, then on TV, it's been done. You know, just about every time they have a series.
Hey, Sovereign, if you want, you can check my channel out. I did a breakdown of the trailer on there.
I just dropped that pin anyway. So yeah, I mean, Superman. As long as it's not an origin story, I might see it. I mean, I think they screwed Cavill over. I think The Rock had a lot to do with that.
He did.
I think.
Well, actually, he and The Rock are.
The Rock's wife was his manager.
Yes.
So actually, agent. Excuse me. Yeah. So The Rock did actually help him, but I think you're right. The Rock was kind of a dick.
Well, no, but that's the thing. The Rock was supposed to. I mean. Black Adam was supposed to fight off with Shazam. That's it. End of story.
Right. But The Rock wanted him versus Superman
because he wanted to get too big.
Exactly.
And it's The Rock. So I've lost a lot of respect for The Rock as a person over, when you hear all of these things going on, and then most of the movies that he's doing right now are not that good. And
I thought Red One sucked. I know people that liked it.
I didn't watch it because I didn't think Red Notice was good, which is, and it's not in the same continuity, but no. Red One was the Santa Claus movie.
It was okay.
But there was Red Notice with Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot. I watched that, and it wasn't anything new.
It wasn't new. I enjoyed it though, mostly. Not because of The Rock, mostly because of Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. But
Reynolds, I watch in pretty much anything. Like heck, I watched his rom-com with Sandra Bullock, and I liked it.
yeah.
Well, my Hunter impression says he said, "Oh, I liked it." J. Jonah Jameson as Santa. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it felt like The Rock was just being The Rock, and he was just there. He just felt like for lack of a better term, he felt like a rock that was just sitting there on the table.
He was a pet rock.
He was a pet rock. There you go. I mean,
but then on Monday he was presenting at the WWE on Netflix, and to see him in that environment, I was taken back 20 years. I'm like, okay, this is The Rock I want to see.
Yeah.
So
he's just he needs to like broaden himself as an actor because he's the Rock in everything he does. He's becoming Kevin Costner. He's becoming a lot of these actors.
Kevin Costner. You know,
is Kevin Costner and everything.
I guess I understand the reason people like him so much, but to me,
he's a good actor. But
he's just Kevin Costner in everything that he does.
Yeah, my favorite Ryan Reynolds in everything, even Deadpool.
But
right,
he's funny.
Yeah, the thing about that's true too. But Ryan Reynolds he's now so synonymous with being his true character is like Deadpool. I mean, it's like a perfect match, just like Hugh Jackman is a perfect Wolverine. He's almost pigeonholed that way, I think. So, hey, Estray,
welcome, Estray.
Estray.
You missed the Minotaurs.
I want to see.
Like, we might get back to them here.
I know who they're gonna use for T'Challa. They're gonna do, Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
I'm a dude playing a dude playing a dude. I would love that. Oh my god, that would be funny.
They should have a cameo of something like that, and I would absolutely love it.
Robert Downey Jr. would love it too. He would be all for it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's getting what, 80 million for both pictures. So that's 80 and 80. That's what, $160 million to save Marvel.
After the flop,
well, it's not
Love and Thunder, and
God, let's not mention that.
I'm the victim of superhero, or I'm a victim of Marvel and Disney fatigue. Like,
well, unless you do it, unless you actually give the consumers, the viewers, what they want, like Deadpool and Wolverine. That's exactly what people wanted, and they gave them exactly what they wanted. But they got $1 billion film.
They didn't give us. They gave us what we wanted, but what we really wanted was a good story. Put these two characters in a shit story, it's still gonna suck.
Yeah. Well, the whole TVA thing, I know they had to put their stamp on it, and it makes sense. But yeah, the TVA was the weakest part of it.
I didn't like the ending. The ending is that they're still in the Fox universe. They saved the Fox universe instead of just bringing. There's so many missed opportunities to bring mutants in the MCU the proper way. The first time they missed it was with the Miss Marvel movie. At the end of the Miss Marvel movie, the first one, they should have had a scene where
they couldn't have.
But they should have had a scene with Mystique, Rogue, Pyro, and the Avalanche trying to steal some jet from Shield or whatever, and then Miss Marvel arrives and Rogue drains her power. That would have been the best way to introduce mutants, because that's in the comic book,
and get rid of our Brie Larson problem.
Exactly. Then you get rid of that Larson you get a Southern Belle.
But they did, in all fairness, they did to her in her follow-up movie in the Marvels. They did to her what they did to Hawkeye in his own TV series, what they did to Loki in his own TV series. They made them the second bit character in their own, thing.
TV. Well, Loki was the main character of his series. I mean, that was a great. I did enjoy that.
But there was a lot of pushing him around that first season. They ended it great. I liked how they and there's talk that he's coming back for Secret Wars.
He's gonna have to, because now he's holding reality
together. Yeah,
exactly. But then the second time they could have bring mutant was in WandaVision. They did the perfect setup, because Pietro was the actor from the Fox universe.
That's what I was saying. They should have brought him over.
Yeah. After that, she should have just went nuts and then do some fusion. And then, mutants are part of the MCU now. That's it.
And I think they're going to do that, but they're going to do it in reverse.
Well, no,
now. I
think
she's going to create.
She went nuts for her kids, which was like House of M. In House of M, she did snap.
Yeah.
Before House of M, she killed a couple of her friends, like Hawkeye and two others from the Avengers. She killed them. And then Xavier and Magneto were trying to keep her at bay, make sure that she was okay. that she wasn't using her power, and then all she did was creating her kids over and over again, and then Xavier was like, put them back. They never born. So they could have done that, but they didn't.
They could have. I just had a thought. What if they take there's going to be a scene, I think, that's going to be at the end of one of the movies that's going to lead us to like Battle World or maybe lead us to Secret Wars. And I think it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. showing up as Doom, and then maybe Loki's hanging on to the multiverse, holding it together, and he just like obliterates Loki or something, and then everything just goes ape shit. And I could almost see that, and having, even though he's not Tony Stark, he's Doom, it would still be like, he and Loki never got along. So
I was holding to one thing, which was don't show his face. If he would have just been Dr. Doom the whole time, Victor Von Doom, never show his face, no problem. But the moment that they showed the trailer without his mask, I'm like, okay, it's not, no.
Well, there's no official trailer. There's no official trailer on it yet. So,
there's no
image. Robert Downey Jr.
When he came out,
he doesn't show his face.
But the thing is, maybe I know they wanted. You got a good point there, Raz. Because what if instead of them, where was that, Comic-Con or D23 or whatever it was, where he showed, he took the mask off, and you saw it was Robert Downey Jr. What if that happened on screen at like the end of, I don't know, Doomsday or whatever, and you're like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And he is just obliterating people left and right. And they get to the end of it, and he takes the mask off, and they're like, oh my God, Tony, you're alive. And he's like, I'm Victor Von Doom. Then people are like, oh my God, that would have broke all kinds of records.
I think I would have been upset personally.
I would have been shocked and like, oh my God, what just happened? I
would have been shocked, but I mean, I just don't see. I don't know. Maybe
they never could have kept that a secret anyway.
Yeah.
So I think maybe I'm just getting too old for.
Well, I'm like you. We all probably agree that Endgame should have ended the MCU, and that's when they should have rebooted and just start over. Brand new actors. Get a bunch of 20-somethings that can carry it for 20 more years, whatever. They should have done something like that. And then,
Yeah. And then the third time that they could have brought in mutants was with Deadpool and Wolverine. They should have fused the timelines and just have mutants, appear. But at this point, I think that they should recast every character, every mutant, just that's it. And then I think James Gunn, I think he could have saved the DC universe if he wouldn't have split what is canon and what is not canon. So the movie that introduced Peacemaker is not canon, but his series is canon. Shit like that. I don't think the Flash movie is canon in a sense because they kept with it, but then So I think that they should have do a hard reboot on the DC universe. New cast, no origin story.
I reserve the right to judge each film on its own merits rather than putting them together until they do a Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Don't lead me on with one film and I have to like this one to like the next one. I want this to stand on its own, but then it can still fit over the umbrella of the DC or whatever. But
I'm not saying don't tease us with not give us in scenes that tease us of something coming up, but then deliver on it. Don't do something and then make a piece of crap out of it.
Not to defend the MCU, but they're like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness wasn't supposed to come out in the order it came out. And like Loki, I think they had to shuffle a lot of stuff when the pandemic hit, and then everything went to streaming, and then that was going to be the thing, and then that didn't work out, and then they just really went off the rails and just were trying to put out they were throwing everything at the wall and just said, well, we've had in 2019, I think there was $10 billion films, and like the top 10 were like $10 billion films, all Disney. You know, there was nowhere to go after Endgame but down. So it was just a question of, do you look at what's coming and you know you're going to fall off that cliff? You know you can't follow up that year of 2019. That's when you just should have started rebuilding, or they should have did Secret Wars then, you know, led into that, you know. Of course, they didn't have the mutants yet. Like,
well,
they couldn't bring.
I think
Fox
their
people
idea. I think their idea was sound. Okay, so you have an end game. We're having all this time travel stuff,
Right?
Which brings you to the attention of Kayne. Kayne the Conqueror, the conqueror of centuries. You know, and you know, in the comic books,
it would have worked.
Kayne is a pretty badass dude.
And we just, a lot of circumstances that we didn't get, we may never get Kayne the way we needed to get Kayne. Because you're right. I was intrigued by Kayne when I was watching what were the two cartoons they had, the animated ones?
There was Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
That was fantastic.
Oh yeah, I loved it.
And then you know, and then
A World Without, and then I was
yes, that theme song was awesome.
But Kayne was pretty awesome in that, you know, and they could have done it right, you know, had things went a little bit differently, had they handled it just a little bit differently. Because I'm sorry, there's in no world is Ant-Man gonna beat your next big baddie. They basically threw him there and said, okay, here's your next Thanos level bad guy. But they had no lead up to it. You had 11 years worth of films that led up to Thanos is coming, you know.
Well, see, and I think where they misstepped with that is that Ant-Man and the Wasp and his daughter, whatever her giant man name is, you know, they felt like they had to make those folks defeat Kang, and I think that's where they messed up. What they should have done is introduced him. He's been trapped here in the quantum realm so long, and at the end, instead of defeating Kang, they barely get away from him with their lives, and Kang is coming.
Yeah.
You know, that's
which is kind of what they did with Ruffalo at the beginning of Endgame, you know, like Hulk barely gets away. And
Tony, this is the guy, New York. It's him. And he's already conquered half the universe with only one of the stones.
Well, that's kind of, if you go back and read the Infinity Gauntlet comic book, that's kind of how the story starts off. But instead of it being the Hulk, instead of it being Hulk, it's Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
But they couldn't use Silver Surfer because, you know, nobody knows him. He hadn't been introduced yet.
And we're still getting a female
universe.
We are still getting a female version of, I don't know, she may not be the Silver Surfer, but she is a Silver Surfer.
Don't care. I mean, I'm so tired of sex change and all that bullshit. I mean,
I'm with you. But they're saying she's a separate.
If you want to operate your body, you know, but don't freaking mess up characters like that.
Well, I don't think she's actually coming back as Norrin Rad. She's coming back because there was a female.
Okay, this is what it's going to be. This is what it's going to be. Instead of it being Norrin Rad, it's going to be his paramour, Shala Ball.
That's it. That's her name. That's it. That's who she's going to be.
And so I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't even know if there's comic book source material.
I think there was. I thought I saw a video on YouTube.
There may be. I don't know. I haven't read it. To me, Norrin Rad is the Silver Surfer. He'll always be the Silver Surfer.
And I'm sorry, as much as hell as they give those two first Fantastic Four films, Rise of the Silver Surfer and the one before that,
just the
I still like Fantastic Four, and especially Rise of the Silver Surfer. I don't think you could have done Silver Surfer better, and to have Lawrence Fishburne do his voice. That's perfect. That was a perfect Silver Surfer for me.
The biggest turd in that movie was the smoke monster from Lost playing Galactus.
Yeah.
Because the director, quote unquote, did not like giant robots.
And I'm like, sorry, you're not directing this film then.
You don't understand that it's not a robot. It's an armor to contain the energy.
And, I think for these films, they should not just hire any director. Oh, this director has all these accolades, yada, yada, yada. No, we want somebody. Okay, you may not be a fan of the source material, but at least be familiar
with
the source material.
Just hire Henry Cavill as a consultant on everything. He respects the material.
Yes.
Well, what now? We're probably about a month away from Captain America, Brave New World. What are y'all's thoughts?
That's my problem now, is that I have a complete apathy towards anything that's coming out that is coming out of Disney. So I don't watch trailers. I don't watch anything. I've maybe 3-4 months ago, I completely quit Disney. I have a few figures. There's more figures from Marvel that I would like to get, but I will not get them. I don't understand why the Falcon, back in my day, which make me sound old, the Falcon.
My mother-in-law got that for me.
Wasn't Captain America. They didn't have the super soldier formula. They didn't, and now everybody's getting the freaking super soldier formula.
Right.
So
well, they did. They did in the comic books. They kind of did replicate the super soldier serum, but it wasn't an exact copy.
Exactly.
And so they could modify it. They could modify it some. And I don't know if you remember, I guess it was around 87, 88 in the Captain America books. The Red Skull had cloned, he got a hold of some Steve Rogers DNA, and he cloned a body and put his mind into this body, and he became Mr. Smith, who was this very influential businessman in Washington, D.C. So he had lots of government connections and stuff like that. Where he was the Red Skull.
Oh, okay.
And the way he was getting all his money is he had his scientists use his blood from this cloned body to help recreate a version of the super soldier serum. And they were actually giving it, or no, they weren't giving it. They were selling it to people. And this was around the whole time that they had like that super powered wrestling federation in the Marvel universe, that the Thing, when he left the Fantastic Four, he was a part of that when he came back from Battle World.
Not that familiar with that era. I more the X-Men.
So anyway, that's where John Walker comes from, because the Red US Skull agent, used his connections to have them bring Steve Rogers into like this council meeting and basically tell him he was still a member of the United States Armed Forces and he would do whatever they told him to do. He says, "No, I won't." And they said, "Fine, then you have to turn in your uniform and your shield." So he turns in his uniform and his shield.
And then he puts on that flamboyant costume.
He puts on that black, white, and red costume, which his friend D-Man, who was one of the wrestlers at the time, had made for him. He's like, "Oh, the focus groups love this," and
it's a terrible thing. That's when he became Nomad.
No, that's when he became the Captain.
Oh, just
when he was wearing that. Nomad was before that. It was in the earlier 80s.
Right.
So that's why everything, I'm out, it's no longer for me, so I'm not gonna spend my money.
I get that. Kind of like Star Wars.
It's the same thing. I have a complete apathy of Star Wars now. They're like they actively went for people that didn't know Star Wars. You know, when you ask a director, "What do you know about Star Wars?" It's like, and she answers, "It's Indiana Jones with a dog flying in space." You don't hire that.
Yeah, you're fired.
Yeah.
You're like, you don't hire that at
You
all.
used to be when you interview someone and you ask them, "Can you do that? Can you be a cashier and ring a register?" And they're like, "Well, I know how to rake leaves." You don't give them the job.
Exactly. Just to give a comparison, when they were casting people in Star Trek The Next Generation to do cameos, like guest star and, aliens, they would ask them, "Do you know what a Romulan is?" If the person didn't convince them that they knew what a Romulan was, they said, "Please go watch the show, and then next season we might have something else for you." They wanted people that knew the aliens.
Exactly. I hate snakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did it have to be snakes?
So that's my gripe with the whole Star Wars thing, is that they act like,
well, it's like
it's all the
Thunderbirds. I'm
wokeness and everything.
trying.
Like, we're not gonna use the light and dark side of the Force. Well, what are you gonna call it? Like the lightish red and the pinkish blue? Like, what the hell? It's
the
light
Force
and
is
dark.
a thread. It's a thread.
What I find interesting is that, Kathleen Kennedy and the Force is female and this whole woke agenda that she has. And who does she hire as a director for The Acolyte? Leslie Headland, who was the former assistant to what's his name, Ed?
Harvey Weinstein.
Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, if he were a guy and he was the former
assistant to Harvey Weinstein,
he would have never been hired. He would have he would have been run out of town. And
so to me,
it's like Thunderbirds.
Bullshit.
I'm trying to be excited about Thunderbirds, but I'm not excited at all about Thunderbirds. The trailer looks
Bolts, not Thunderbirds.
Oh no, that's totally different. I might be excited about Thunderbirds than Thunderbolts. And it's got the little asterisk, so it's not going to be. They're not going to be Thunderbolts after this. I think they're going to.
I'm excited for the new Highlander reboot
with Henry Cavill.
Yep. Cavill, Cavill could walk in my house and say, "I need to borrow your wife for a minute." I'd be like, "Okay, go ahead." Just
the chat goes crazy. What?
I mean, it's Cavill. I mean, he did a great Witcher. He did a great Superman. He did great in.
I think he's going to do great with Warhammer.
War II movie.
Because he loves Warhammer, like you said. He loves
exactly.
the material.
He's one of us.
He's willing that into existence.
I will say this. I would have loved to seen Henry Cavill actually get to play Superman. I don't.
We got a glimpse of it.
At the end of Shazam for 2 seconds. I don't think that character was really Superman in the Man of Steel. It did not strike me as a Superman.
Oh no, there was a lot they could have done with that.
Yeah.
And Batman versus Superman, the whole premise of that, the way it was done to me it was kind of unbelievable. I mean, I could believe, Batman, he's given up being Batman. So Bruce Wayne, he experiences this horrible thing in Metropolis and all of his employees are getting killed. And so he becomes Batman again to get revenge on Superman. That part I can believe. But the fact that Superman actually wants to confront him and tell him, hey, you have to stop beating the crap out of people.
Yeah.
Because it's not right.
But wasn't that in Kingdom? Was it Kingdom Come? Or no, it wasn't Kingdom Come, where Superman does go to Batman. Some of that is from the comics, right?
No, there's the
Dark Knight Rises. That was from the Dark Knight Rises, wasn't it?
No, Dark Knight Rises, the third movie of the Nolan.
No, not the movie, the comic.
He's talking about Dark Knight
with
Dark Knight Returns. Yeah,
it's Frank Miller.
Yeah,
Frank Miller's run of comic was then produced in 2 animated movies, where eventually the government forces all superhero to disband, And eventually they do send Superman after Batman because, you know,
because they can't control him.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna have to cut this short because I do have to work in the morning. And
understandable,
it's
my friend.
Yeah, but it was great. I've enjoyed doing this with you guys.
I'm glad. Yeah, I'm glad I got to see some of those differences.
Yeah,
in the figures up close. You know, it's really, you know, your figure got the Baker's share of the paint apps.
Yeah,
it looked like it. Yeah,
and
kind of liked his better.
But on the dark color of mine, you know, those, you know, it pretty would have been wasted paint apps, you know.
Yeah, but they could have made it lighter.
They could have. Yeah. And the one thing about this figure I'm going to say that I was a little disappointed with is the butterflies in the shoulder. I just don't think they have enough range.
See, I usually don't have figures with butterflies, so I thought this was amazing. You know, it's all about what you're experienced and used to getting.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So anyway. I mean, it's you know, it's adequate. At least, you know, like the forward motion of it is not bad, but it's just like I would have liked a little more range in the
Oh yeah, okay, I can see that.
So, you know, that would help with a lot with the posing for the axe, like if you wanted to.
Yes. You know, put it over here. I can't really do that. So anyway.
But that's my final thoughts on the figures for this. What are your final thoughts, Raz?
On what? On Kasos?
Yeah, Kasos and Thales.
I think it's going to be really hard for me not to get more Fight for Glory combatants. That's my final thought.
Have you seen that saber-toothed tiger dude?
Yeah. He looks really good. Have you seen that rhino dude? Looks really good. So yeah. Great. The humans look a little plain, but they have some females which look really expensive. So anyway, I might indulge in a couple more figure. We'll see. Do you have a natural song?
I do. But Ed, you got any final?
Not much. I kind of like Raz's figure better. I like the coloring on it. And just
I win.
I liked it. I mean, and I'm not an aficionado, so but I liked it. It's interesting figure.
But thank you everybody for tuning in. Raz, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Facebook and YouTube, of course, at Razyel Kayne Reviews. Facebook as both Razyel Kayne Reviews if you want to follow my page, or Razyel Kayne if you want to send me a friend request, which 1 out of 2 I don't accept. You know, depends. If there's no connection, I prefer you follow my page. Anyway.
What about Henry Cavill?
Oh, he can just, you know, take over the channel. I'd get more followers. So you can find me on Instagram and a couple other places. So yeah.
It's great seeing you, Raz.
Ed.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh,
where can they find you at?
Oh, shameless plug. I'm at youtube.com/@Geek Homeworld 4248. We do film, TV, and tech reviews of that. But I just did a thing on the box office of 2024. So if you want to know where all your films ended up money-wise, and I'm on Twitter, X, Blue Sky, all over the place. Geek Homeworld. Thanks for having me.
Yes. I, of course, am the Digital Caveman, and I think most of you probably know where to find me. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Digital Caveman. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/@DigitalCaveman, just like it says on the screen there. That's pretty much the only platforms I'm active on.
And don't forget that.
Yes, don't forget all that Ed just put up down there. All that stuff is available if you're interested and you're in a position that you can do all that, or any of it, some of it. You know, feel free to do that. I don't expect it, but you know, if you feel like you want to do that, then please, if you're in a position to do any of that,
super chat, super thanks, super stickers now available.
And Memberships also. Is that on there? I don't know.
Yeah, memberships.
So, but everybody, thank you for tuning in. And that
you want me to do the
show, my friends. I'll see you next time.
Oh.